So the story of the Shaolin Temple is fascinating to me. It's something that really kind of drove me on my path. There was a saint named Bodhi Dharma, came from Persia or India. There's still some debate as to where he came from, but he was a Buddhist saint that was traveling into China, and so the emperor had invited him to come and speak. And so when he comes into the emperor's court, the emperor starts doing what emperors do, which is showing off. Like, I've built this temple in honor of my daughter, and I've built this. Look how holy I am. I've spent money, right? And all these kind of facade types of spirituality. And Damo was his Chinese name, was having none of it. And so he's like, so what is it? Who cares, dude? Right? Like, who cares? And the emperor didn't like it, and they basically ejected him out of the court, and he had to flee. And so what did he do? He went and took up residence above this monastery called Shaolin, which is young forest. It was a Buddhist monastery, and so he came in and was like, hey, listen, I'm this guy, and they're like, no, we don't want any trouble with the emperor. We've heard about you. So he went up to a cave and just meditated until he allegedly was turning the rock into glass with his mind. And so the monks over the years start talking about this crazy guy living up in the hills, and they're like, yeah, I saw him, all these stories. And so the lore started to become more and more reality, and so they invite him in. And he walks into this temple and he takes a look around, hangs out for a couple days, and they're like, so what do you think, of our glorious institution? And he's like, you guys suck, right? You guys are all sitting around meditating for enlightenment and world peace. And since I've been here for a couple of years in the mountains, I know for a fact that the bandits have come in, raped and pillaged, beat you guys up, took all your food, and so this is good, this is just. And they're like, what do you mean? He's like, look at you, you're all falling apart. All you do is meditate, and you have no power, you have no energy, you have no chi. And so what he did is he revitalized this monastery by teaching them what was originally called the 18 Hands of the Lohan, which was this Qigong set, this powerful energy breathwork yoga. And as they started to come to life, and as they realized that it wasn't about just sitting around and meditating, but actually taking the Dharma into their life, they started to become powerful. He taught them Kung Fu, so now they're these warrior monks that know how to cultivate their energy and use their bodies in a way that made them strong and vibrantly alive. And that's where the stories come from. That's the story of the Jedi Temple. These guys were the people that grew into this order that then, instead of just rolling over and taking it when the bandits would come into town, they became the defenders of good, and they'd meet these guys with an iron fist and basically chased them out of town. They are these powerful monks that then activated their lives so that they can take the Dharma into the world. They became the defenders of good, and emperors would come and be like, hey, help us, we're under attack. And they became kind of this example of what we should be in the world, right? Where we activate ourselves. It's one thing to sit there and pray for world peace. It's another thing to step up and do something about it. So this has really informed me and really led me into my journey of saying, okay, you know what? Everyone says they want, to fix the environment. Everyone says that, the world's unfair, but they're all just sitting there back on their heels, taking punches in the face all day, and they have no personal power to do anything about it. So if I want to be part of changing the world, I have to activate the well-intentioned people to step into their bodies and have that personal power so that they can be the engaged people they need to be in the world and in their lives. And that became a big part of my calling, was to say, look, I know these practices. They have activated me, and they've lit me up in my life, and now I want to light this fire in every single human being that gives a damn and wants to stand for something in the world. And that's why I started training people and teaching them these things.